Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Red Deer College and Amscare Media, I would like to welcome everyone to the RDC MSM Agent E-Summit Series for 2020. I'm Karishma Chaudhary, Manager Canada at Amscare Media. On April 16, RDC marked the official launch as an MSM partner institution. Yes, that means RDC, which is now on its way to university status, is actually welcoming more international students to its campus in Alberta, Canada. For 56 years, RDC has been proudly serving its learners and communities. The college continues to grow programs, facilities, and opportunities as it transitions to become a comprehensive regional teaching university during the next 3 to 5 years. RDC has a variety of different programs to challenge, inspire, and prepare students for the future. RDC, together with MSM, is happy to have you all here for an hour of ultimate knowledge-oriented session to help you boost your student recruitment practices. RDC works closely with a carefully selected and approved group of agent partners to achieve its goal of internationalization. Well, before we get to the exciting part, I would like to let you know that if you would be having any question related to RDC during the presentation, please do not hesitate to drop it in Q&A section in your control panel. And if you would be having any question related to any technical problem, then you can definitely drop it in chat box. I know everyone is curious and interested to learn more about RDC, its program offerings, its state-of-art facilities on campus, and of course, its welcoming local community. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce Ms. Shelby Pombrins, Director for International Education at RDC, and Calvin Yu, Manager, International Recruitment. Calvin, over to you.
Hello, everyone. How's it going? I just want to say thank you very much for attending today's E-Summit. And I'm very happy to be here today to talk to you a little bit more about Red Deer College and what Red Deer College is about and what we can provide to potential students that you might be talking to in the future as well. And like Karishma said, I have Shelby Promenades here as well. And she is the Director of International Education here at Red Deer College. And I'll let her to just say a couple of words before I start my little presentation that I have.
Perfect. Thank you, Calvin. And as Karishma and Calvin both mentioned, we're very excited to be here this morning, and thank you for giving us a little bit of your time. Today, we will be sharing with you some information about Red Deer College and our programs, and we hope that it will pique your interest and you will think of a couple of students that you've been working with that might be good prospects for coming to apply and to attend our college. So I will be here as background support for Calvin as we go through the presentation today. So I hope everyone enjoys it and learns something, and we'll speak to you all during the Q&A session at the end of the presentation.
Perfect, wonderful. Thank you so much, Shelby. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen right now with the presentation. Okay, wonderful. So I just wanted to talk a little bit more about Red Deer College within this presentation. So I just want to say thank you again for attending. And first things first, I want to draw your attention to the picture right in front of you. So right here, this is Red Deer College overall, the main campus. If you look, so we are an institution like Karishma mentioned earlier. We've been around for over 56 years. We are an institution situated in Red Deer, Alberta, which is a central part of Alberta. And we are on a 290 acres of land. As you can see right here in this picture, there's entire properties right here stretch all the way to the back and around, come back over here. This all is the Red Deer College campus. Right in front of you right here, this is the Gary W. Harris Canada Game Center. It's one of our newest facilities on campus for our students as well as our athletics, as well as over here, this is our brand new student housing tower that we will be talking a little bit more later on in the presentation as well. So Red Deer College is a public comprehensive community college and is recognized by the government of Canada as a designated learning institution. So which that means is that any student that does any program at Red Deer College, majority of program that as long as it is a over 8 months long duration program, qualify for the postgraduate work permit program as well. And we are an institution that offer program in areas such as 1-year certificates, 2-year diplomas, 4-year applied bachelor's degree, and several university collaborative program that we offer as well, and of course our university transfer program. So to give you a little bit more statistic or a little bit more information about Red Deer College, so we are an institution to have around over 7,500 full-time and part-time students. And we are an institution that have over 200 international students from over 40 different countries. We have a 92% success rate with our graduate finding employment within 6 months of graduation. And we have a 96% satisfaction percentage of our students for the quality of education that they received here at Red Deer College as well. We also have 15 different athletics teams competing in 7 different sports, and we do compete within the province of Alberta as well. So a lot of people ask is like, so why do we want to choose Red Deer College? Why is Red Deer College one of the reasons why students go there? So there's several factors that really set Red Deer apart from other institutions. First things first, we provide expert instructors and focuses on student success overall during their life cycle at Red Deer College. We have considerably smaller class sizes average around 40 students per class. We really focus on something called hands-on learning. Within a lot of our program, we offer a practical component within the program, which really transfer over to why we have such a high percentage of our students finding career or finding a job within their field after they graduate, is because of those hands-on learning within the program that we offer. And of course, our cost is extremely competitive, comparable to a lot of institutions across Canada, and especially within Alberta. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, all of our modern, high-quality facilities that we have on campus for all of our students that are in the program as well. So I want to talk a little bit more about specifically what I mean earlier about our cost is competitive. So our cost, when it comes to tuition-wise, is very, very competitive to other institutions. But at the same time, our living expenses is actually a lot cheaper than other major cities in Canada, for example. So Red Deer, like I mentioned, it is a city in Alberta. It is actually the 4th largest city in Alberta. And the living cost, average cost for a rental of a 1-bedroom apartment is around $970. If you compare that to, let's say, Vancouver or Toronto, it's substantially lower as well. And I'll talk a little bit more in later slides of why that is very important and that could be a potential opportunity for some students as an advantage in the future as well. So when it comes to student housing, we have many, many different student housing options on campus. I believe over 10 housing different styles that suits whatever the student needs. And like I mentioned earlier, we have this brand new residence tower, which studio suites right here. You can see on my cursor. And the average cost for living right on campus is range anywhere from $600 to $800 a month. We also offer several different other housing options as well. As you can see right here, these are our residence apartments, as well as some of the townhome that is also available to students as well. Other than living right on campus, there's other options for students to live, such as renting within the community of Red Deer, as well as homestay as well. So another several factors that really sets Red Deer apart from other institutions is that we have a dedicated team in supporting our international students throughout the entire life cycle that deals with their transition and their student success within their life cycle at Red Deer College. However, we also offer counseling, career counseling, and personal counseling as well. And like I mentioned, this also go hand in hand to what I mean earlier is why our students are able to get such a high success rate in finding a career is because we have career counselors that help students to develop their interview skills, their resume building, and ultimately help them to prepare them to get out into the workforce and really hit the ground running. Of course, we also provide many different academic support, such as tutoring and a lot of library services that is offered at the library as well to support our students in the program as well. So next, I want to talk to you a little bit more about Red Deer, the city of Red Deer more specifically. So like I mentioned earlier, so the city of Red Deer is situated in the central Alberta, right? And like is the 4th largest city in Alberta. However, I just want to let you know, it is also only 90 minutes south of Edmonton, which is the capital of Alberta, as well as 90 minutes north of Calgary as well. So it's very accessible to many, many different larger cities that have other attractive features that students are able to go to, and is only 90 minutes away. And I have a little video here that I want to show you what Red Deer is really about. Perfect. So like I mentioned, Red Deer is the 4th largest city in Edmonton. So what that means that we have over a population of over 100,000 people. And within that 100,000 people that live in Red Deer, over just close to 20% of that population are people from a immigrant background, and from over 56 different countries as well. So this for you a little bit of perspective of where we're located. For some of you, if you did not realize, Alberta is in Canada, so we are a Canadian institution, of course. So next is I'm going to talk a little bit more about our programs that we offer, a little bit some our specific programs that we'd like to kind of highlight a little bit more today. So first things first. So these are a list of programs that we want to highlight specifically because a lot of these programs, we do have a current intake for the winter semester, which start in January. So of course, the Business Administration Diploma Program, the Early Learning Childcare Certificate and Diploma, the Educational Assistance Certificate, Visual Arts Diploma, as well as all of our University Transfer Program as well. The best part about all of these programs is that we accept applicant up to October 15th. So if you have any student that's interested in coming to Red Deer and experiencing what it's like to be living in Alberta, Canada, and experiencing post-secondary education here, and any of these programs raise their interest, you still have lots of time to help them to apply for the program. So I want to talk a little bit more specifically about like several programs today. So the business administration program, like I mentioned, is a 2-year diploma program where the student has the opportunity to really focus on certain areas such as accounting, marketing, human resource, and things like that. But more so specifically, I want to kind of cover a little bit more on the cost. When I mentioned earlier, is the cost is being very competitive. So for this program, for a student to complete both year, the business administration diploma program, at the end, they will be paying approximately around $36,608 in tuition. Now, if you were to compare that to a university or to a post-secondary overall in Edmonton or Calgary, for a 2-year business administration program, it will cost around $66,000. So just the living expenses as well as the tuition costs is substantially lower as well at Red Deer College. But at the same time, we're able to provide the same quality of education as one of those larger institutions as well. Next, we also offer a program called Educational Assistant. This is a program which is a 1-year program which provides students the opportunity to learn and to work within a educational setting in a supportive role in supporting students as well as the teachers within the classroom as well. Next, we have our Early Learning Childcare Certificate Program. This is a program that allows students that are interested in working with the younger students, the younger children population in, let's say, in daycare or family day home. This is a program that really provides them a kind of a in-depth understanding of a lot of areas dealing with children specifically, and education as well, educating younger children as well. But at the same time, we offer a deeper program which provide you even more knowledge and a lot more hands-on experience. Is our Early Learning Childcare 2-year diploma program. You pretty much learn everything that you learn within the certificate program, but on top of that, you get a lot more training and education within the supervisory role within this sector. So once you finish this program, you actually are able to become a supervisor within a daycare or a manager within daycare or a day home, for example. Next, I want to talk a little bit more about 2 of our programs that is very unique to our institution because it is a program that not a lot of colleges offer. First is our Electrical Engineering Technology program. So this is a 2-year program which provides students the opportunity to learn a lot about the electrical engineering technologist role, as well as it is a program that gives them a lot of hands-on experience to deal with any kind of electrical engineering systems and development as well. With this program, once you graduate, the students is actually recognized and are able to become a accredited electrical engineering technologist, as well as if the student decide to do more schooling, if once they finish the schooling, there are actually other bridging program out there in Canada, in Alberta and BC, especially, and even in Ontario, where they're able to bridge into a full 4-year electrical engineering degree as well. Same with our mechanical engineering technology program, again, is a 2-year diploma program where it provides students the knowledge and hands-on experience in becoming a mechanical engineering technologist. And again, like I mentioned earlier, it's very similar to the electrical engineering technology program. There is also other institutions in Alberta and BC and Ontario that provide a bridging program for the student when they graduate if they decide not to pursue the career right away and they want to complete the full 4-year mechanical engineering degree as well. So next is our university transfer program. So this is a program that I really want to kind of highlight a little bit more, and more specifically talk about what I mean earlier is that advantage that student could potentially get coming to Red Deer College. So the university transfer program is a program where students can come to Red Deer College, complete up to 2 years of their Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science program in the major of their choice. and then transfer to a university after they finish the 2 year with Red Deer College. And what I mentioned earlier about the advantage of coming to Red Deer College first is that, especially because of the living cost is substantially lower and the tuition cost is extremely competitive, a student will substantially save a lot of their money within the first 2 years, kind of put that forward into the year 3 and 4 to complete the degree at a university of their choice after they transfer out. The best part about this program is if the student decides to finish the 2 year diploma program and does not wish to transfer to university, they still will be getting a diploma in university transfer in Bachelor of Arts or Science, of course, and that still qualifies the students to apply for the postgraduate work permit as well. So I just wanted to give you a little visual with our Red Deer College pathway. Again, a student come into Red Deer College in any of our program, they can finish the program and start their career, or they can actually transfer to a university and complete their degree and then start their career afterward as well. So for Red Deer College, we just have talked a little bit more about our admission. There's two very important components to the admission process for our students that are interested in coming to Red Deer College. First is our English language proficiency requirements. Every single program have their own specific requirements. And secondly is we also, of course, the academic program requirements as well. The student need to meet the specific English language proficiency requirements for the specific program, as well as the academic requirement for the program that they're applying to. So like I mentioned earlier, it's very important to know that application for the winter term is open still currently. And again, it closes on October 15th. And then for fall 2021, we will be accepting application starting October 1st, 2020. So some of the fees that I want to highlight a little bit more today is application fees is $200 when a student is interested in applying to Red Deer College. It is a non-refundable amount. However, the good thing about the application fees, it actually covers the student when they apply. They're able to apply with two choices of their liking for two programs at Red Deer College. So they actually get to apply to two different programs. And technically, is if their first program does not meet if they do not meet the requirement or is full, then we will automatically put them into the second choice that they decide for as well. Once the student have been accepted into the program, then they will have to provide a tuition deposit of $1,400, which is non-refundable. However, for students that are international students, we do understand that potentially study permit might be denied. And because of that, as long as they're able to prove that their study permit is denied, we're able to provide a refund of their tuition deposit. However, there will be a $400 cancellation fee charged to that return as well. So if you want to be an authorized RDC agent, please feel free to connect with us at supports eAsia at rdc.ab.ca. Complete the agent application. And one really important thing is we require references from a Canadian public post-secondary institution. Again, this is a very important thing that I want to say again. We require, in order to be an authorized agent at RDC, is you need to be able to provide us with a public Canadian post-secondary institution reference. So that is pretty much the end of my presentation, and thank you so much for listening. I would like to open the floor up to any questions. Thank you very much.
So Calvin, Karishma should be coming online any moment to facilitate the question and answer section of the presentation. Karishma, are you there?
Yes, Shelby. Thank you so much, Calvin, for giving such a wonderful presentation. And now we will be taking questions from the audience. Okay. So moving to our first question, it is about, are we accepting conditional applications?
So at Red Deer College, unfortunately, we do not provide any conditional acceptance to any students, pretty much.
Thank you, Kelvin. Okay, and the next question is about the courses which are available in transfer programs.
So, like, what do you mean, is it like specific programs, like majors, or like courses wise that they can take?
No, major
That's
programs. Major
Yep,
programs.
major. Yep. So we offer programs in Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Arts. In a lot of the general program, of course, in Bachelor of like Science, such as like biology, chemistries, and things like that. And if Shelby, if you can able to jump in to talk a little bit more specifically, if there is any other highlighted Bachelor of Arts program that we offer as well for transferable.
Sure, absolutely. So as Calvin mentioned, we have several different options in terms of what programs the students can start at Red Deer College. So we have a Bachelor of Arts, and the students can choose to major in anthropology, communications, economics, English, history, philosophy, political sciences. So those are just to name a few. Additionally, students can have apply to attend a Bachelor of Arts in Recreation and Leisure Studies. And for both of those programs, they'd be completing the first 2 years at Red Deer College. Just to name a few others, as Kelvin mentioned, we do have a Bachelor of Science. I'll quickly just mention a couple of the majors that students can focus on during their first 2 years of study at Red Deer College. That would include programs such as agriculture. We have also biochemistry, biological sciences, chemistry, environmental and conservation sciences. So essentially how it works is when the student applies to attend RDC, they specify the university transfer program that they are interested in. And then we work with the student to design their courses and choose their courses to best suit whichever major they are ultimately looking at pursuing. So we work with the student right on the onset to plan out their educational path. So we talk to them about what their ultimate destination is in terms of where they'd like to transfer to, and that will help us decide which courses the student should take while they're at RDC.
So I just want to add a little bit more on that point. Again, this is something that I actually forgot to cover in the presentation, is that we highly, highly recommend that student to first, if they are interested ultimately to transfer to a university once they finish the university transfer program with us, we highly recommend the student to look into that specific institution that they are interested in. And we want them to reach out potentially to figure out exactly what is required within the courses that they have to take. And of course, our team and our advisory would definitely work with the student to kind of develop those courses and create a pathway for them. But it is definitely the student responsibility to make sure to reach out to that university that they want to ultimately go to make sure, to kind of understand exactly what is transferable for that specific institution. Now, of course, all the courses that we provide in the university transfer are courses that can be transferred all across Canada, but there's specific university that might not take certain courses, and those are information that the student we highly recommend to kind of reach out first to figure that out.
Thank you so much, Calvin, for giving a detailed information on this. Moving to our next question, Calvin, can you please brief what all programs are available for January 21 intake? Because currently we are recruiting, students for that.
Sorry, what program we're currently recruiting for?
What
fall
programs
20?
are currently open for January 21 intake, winter 21 intake?
Oh, yes, yep, definitely. So the program that we currently are accepting application for that is still have space are currently is the Business Administration Diploma, the Early Learning Childcare Certificate, the Early Learning Childcare Diploma Program, the Educational Assistance Certificate Program, the Visual Arts Diploma, as well as the University Transfer Program as well.
Okay, Great, Kelvin. Kelvin, moving to our next question is, can you please brief how, if the student is not having mathematics in 12th grade and want to study for business administration, being that math is the requirement for the program, what other options are available for the students so that he can, take opt for the business administration program in RDC?
Yep. So I believe that at RDC we offer in-house testing for the student that is interested that does not meet the requirement for that math, for example. We have a in-house testing for those students that does not have that requirements that to meet, and if they pass that test, then that will meet the requirement to get into the program.
And is this test is online or offline, Kelvin?
Yeah, especially during times like this, definitely it is a test that is delivered online. However, there is actually a small fee for the test, and I believe it is now Shelby correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's $30 for completing that test.
Yes, that's exactly right. And sorry, Krishma, I just wanted to jump in really quickly and provide a little bit more information. I see that there's lots of questions about how students coming through the secondary school system in India can meet the math requirement. So as Karishma and Kelvin have mentioned, there is an option for students to do the entrance testing. So just one other note is the students need to apply to Red Deer College. They need to submit their application and pay their application fee. And at that point, we will work with the student to set up their entrance testing to make sure they're able to meet the math requirement. So it's important to know before the student submits their application that they're able to meet the English language proficiency requirement. And then, as I mentioned, so I just wanted to note that the application is required in order to set up the testing for the math requirement.
Thank you, Shelby. Thank you, Calvin, for answering this question. Now we are moving to our another question. It is about, I can see a lot of questions about open classes or distance learning. So would we able to accept the students who have completed the 12th grade either through open board or distance learning?
Yep, definitely. So I think from my understanding, we do accept students that are that completed, the program in distance learning, for example. Again, Shelby, if you're able to jump in and to maybe, if I'm wrong in any way, please, if you can be a.
Yep, you're exactly right, Kelvin. So there is no issues. Red Deer College accepts students that have completed their grade 12 online, as long as it's from a certified or recognized post-secondary institution. It makes no difference in terms of if their delivery was online. That's exactly right, Kelvin.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. Moving to our next question is about, COVID only. Now the situation is not that much good and the students are not able to travel because the borders are still not completely open. So in current situation, how RDC is dealing with that and what all refund policies we are having in current scenario with respect to AIP rejection or the second stage rejections, and how we are planning our January 21 intake. Would it be online, offline? Can you please brief a bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. So I think for more specifically to dealing with the delivery of January of the winter term, at the moment, we still have not made the decision yet on how the delivery is going to be, how the program and courses are going to be delivered in the winter term. However, we do expect to have the answer or the decision specifically on that aspect, hopefully by mid-October to late October. And at that time, we will be disseminating that information to MSN, of course, and to all the agents that we have as well. And I'm hoping maybe Shelby, potentially you can answer the first half of that question.
Sure. So yeah, as Calvin's exactly right. So we are currently monitoring the situation with COVID-19, and we will be making a decision in terms of our delivery method for the January or the winter intake in the near future. So by mid to end of October, we'll be sharing that decision. So other measures that we've implemented in terms of COVID is students are able to submit online English language tests for demonstrating their English language proficiency. So we have made a special exception to be able to accept the Duolingo online test, the IELTS online indicator test, and I believe potentially even the KO online test. So all of that information is up on our website. So we're being more flexible with students in that regard to meet their English language proficiency. If students are having challenges meeting the academic requirements because they are having challenges getting their transcripts from their high school, we just are working with students on a one-on-one, a case-by-case basis in order to work with them to do our best to help them get the transcripts that they need in order to be admitted into a program. We are also working on developing a plan to support international students at the time when we are hoping that the borders will reopen. So several institutions in Canada and groups in Canada are working together to lobby to the Canadian government, and we hope to have international students being able to come into Canada, hopefully in the not too distant future, but of course anything can happen. But at the time when international students are able to come back, we are anticipating that there will be a 14-day mandatory self-isolation period, and Red Deer College is committed to supporting incoming international students through their self-isolation period, and we will be offering international students at the time when the borders are able to reopen a full scope support package to facilitate their entry into the country. So in terms of COVID, that's where we're at right now. Of course, there's a lot of unknowns. We all hope to be back in some sort of an in-person method as soon as possible, but we all know that the numbers are currently rising worldwide. So it's just a matter of wait and see, and it's always our first priority to keep MSM and all of our agents informed as soon as these decisions are made, and we'll continue to do so.
Thank you, Shelby and Calvin, for such a detailed information about this. I believe this would be definitely helpful for the agents. Moving forward to our another question, it is about the co-op. Do our programs offer co-op? And if yes, then which all programs actually included?
So I believe we offer, a lot of the program offer a practicum, but that is slightly different from a co-op. More specifically, I'm assuming when the agent asking co-op is kind of like a paid work term. I do not believe that we have a program that offer a guaranteed a paid work term for the students, which is essentially what typical co-op is. But we do offer a lot of program that has a practicum in that aspect. And I want to kind of like provide that a little bit more information to agents that is not familiar with that, is that the main purpose of it is to provide students with kind of hands-on learning on that specific field of work, but at the same time making that connection within that field of work to potentially ultimately landing a future career, a future position after they graduate as well.
Thank you, Kelvin. And is there any scholarships we are providing to international students?
So at Red Deer College, we do not offer any entrance scholarship for students. However, we do provide a lot of opportunity for students to apply to different scholarships and bursaries and awards once they are students at Red Deer College. Just to give you a little kind of like idea, like Red Deer College, we definitely like to understand that financially it is difficult for a lot of students, and we really want to support student success and ultimately. So that's why we supported over $1 million worth of scholarships and awards and bursaries to students to support them through their education career at Red Deer College. So again, we don't have any entrance scholarship, but there's lots of scholarship that students can apply to once there are students at Red Deer College.
Right, Kelvin. Thank you so much. Kelvin, I believe everyone is very much clear about the IELTS requirement for the programs. But when it comes to the academic requirement, is there any standard academic requirement for our programs, or it is different? Can you give a brief
It
about
is definitely different from program to program. Again, a lot of those information can be found on our website, especially when you click under the programs. But specifically, the English language requirement as well as the program requirements is different from program to program. And because there's so many different programs, it's hard for me to tell you exactly which percentage, what mark you need, or what will mean that student can get in the program. But like I said, if you go on our website, it'll provide you with all the different requirements for every single program that we offer.
Right. Thank you, Kelvin. And again, I would like
And I
to.
think,
Yes.
and I think Shelby had something she wanted to say. So
Yeah, sorry, Krishma. I just wanted to jump in really quickly. I wanted to just remind everybody that we have a document called our agent guide. And in the agent guide, it's a really quick reference point for agents that shows the academic requirements for each of our programs. And I know that maybe for a couple of the individuals on the line, I'm just going to give a few examples of what some of the academic requirements are for a few of our popular programs. I'm just going to give two quick examples just to give a sense of what some of the requirements are. So for example, for the Early Learning and Childcare Diploma program, we would be looking to make sure that the student had received an average of 50% in an English language arts type or equivalent program in their secondary schooling. That's one example. Also for our business program, as we know, we would be looking for a minimum average of 60% with no mark below 50% in an English language arts and math 30 equivalent. So those are just two examples of how we do our academic requirements at Red Deer College. So typically we're looking for the students to have achieved a certain grade in a certain course. So we're not looking at an overall grade 12 mark. We're not looking at that sort of thing. We're looking at a specific course to make sure that that student has completed their course material in their secondary schooling that will allow them to be successful in the program. So that's just to add a little bit more to what Kelvin has said. And Krishma, sorry for interrupting you. Just thought that was helpful information to add.
Yes, yes, definitely, Shelby. And I would also like to update you. I do understand there are a few new agents who have joined us today. So after this session, we will be sending you agent guide through the email so that you can easily access and get all the information regarding the program details. Moving to our next question, Calvin, it is about the backlogs acceptance and gap acceptance. So would you like to brief a bit that how much gap we are accepting, the educational gap, and how many backlogs we can accept if the student is applying in RDC?
yes, definitely. So I think definitely if Shelby be able to jump in on this question specifically, that would be great. Thank you so much.
No problem. So I'm going to answer the question in terms of study gap, and then Krishma, I'll pass it to you to answer the question about backlog. So in terms of study gap, that's not something that Red Deer College takes into consideration with international applicants. So we welcome mature applicants to apply, or maybe students that have been in the workforce for a little while, not something that we are currently taking into consideration with the assessment of applications. And Krishma, would you like to address the backlogs question?
Yes, Shelby, thank you. Regarding backlogs of the students we would be, first of all, we would be able to accept the improved 12th grade. And now coming to the graduation part, if the student has studied 3-year programs, then we would be able to accept backlogs up to 6. And if student has studied 4-year programs, then we would be able to accept backlogs up to 8. Okay.
Thanks,
So,
Krishma.
Right. Moving to our next question is about withdrawal policy. If any student withdraw from the program, irrespective of their, what is their visa result is, then how much reductions would be there?
So again, like I mentioned, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I forgot that I wasn't answering that question. Go ahead, Calvin.
Okay. So like I mentioned earlier, for any students that once they provided their tuition deposit, we do allow students to withdraw from program if they were denied from their their study permit. Then we will be providing them back their deposit with a $400 deduction. However, for when they start the program specifically, there is a specific deadline for add drop dates, I believe. And maybe if Shelby, you're able to provide a little bit more information on that. But that date, I think it does fluctuate a little bit from semester to semester.
Yeah, exactly. So for example, for the fall term, the add drop date is September 15th. So that would be the last date where the student could, basically exit or drop their courses and receive a refund minus their tuition deposit that they've paid. So just to reiterate what Kelvin has said, if the student pays the tuition deposit and they receive a denial, they may be eligible to receive a partial refund of $1,000 if they're able to provide documentation proving that their study permit was denied. If the student just changes their mind and they decide that they'd like to study somewhere else or that they're not coming, they will not be eligible for a refund on their tuition deposit.
Okay, right. Thank you, Shelby and Calvin. Moving to our next question is about the references, because in few programs we need to submit the references. We need to submit the references. Can you give a more details what kind of references exactly required, and that would be from whom?
Yep, definitely. So for the agents that are interested in becoming an authorized agent with Red Deer College, like I mentioned within our presentation, you will be doing the application through MSM. You'll be emailing support Asia and then requesting for the agent application. And within the agent application, we require you to provide minimum of 3 references. So what we actually look for in those references is we look for, number one, the most important part is references from a Canadian public post-secondary institution. So that covers any institution that is a public institution that is either a college, a university, or polytechnic school that is a public funded institution. So no private institution references, no language school references, just public Canadian post-secondary institution. Now, secondly, is that we require for the reference need to be a direct employee of that institution. So no contract position, no contractor position as reference. It has to be a direct employee position. So, for example, if you became an agent with Red Deer College, and another institution asks you for references, someone like myself or Shelby can be the reference, and that's kind of what we expect from any agent that's interested. And it's actually very good that that question came up, because we want to let you know is that for any agent that are interested in becoming an RDC agent, definitely go through the process of becoming a authorized agent with us through MSM first before recruiting students, because we do provide only limited spot for number of agents that we are accepting. And because of that, if you are not authorized agent and you recruited us as students, you will not be paid any kind of commission. So again, I highly recommend students, or not students, sorry, agents, to go through the process application to become an authorized agent with us first before moving forward and recruiting students with us.
Okay. Thank you, Kelvin, for answering this question. And I can see one more question here. To be very honest, I'm not having much detailed about it. Maybe you would be able to give more information on this. The agent is asking, if agent is CCEA approved, still he need to submit how many references?
Sorry, if the student is what approved? Sorry, if the agent
is CCEA approved.
CCEA approved.
Can you please, BD's Education, can you please explain what is CCEA so that we can answer your question, if you can elaborate? I believe it's some kind of authorizations or some kind of affiliation, which I believe, which might be given by Canadian government or the Canadian Immigration Services.
Yeah, I think that is something from ISEF. I think specifically is the Canadian Course for Education Agents. But that I dealt with agents that had that specific requirement. It still does not skip the requirement that we asked for, which is agents that has references from a public post-secondary institution. You have to understand. I just want to really like kind of emphasize this one thing is not we don't how can I say like um, we don't believe your ability or your accreditation. Is ultimately we would like to have a reference from another institution that have worked with you specifically before and provide us some sort of feedback on your ability and provide us with metrics ultimately so we're able to move forward. And like I mentioned, we do have limited number of space for agents. So that's the reason we have this stringent requirement for our agents application.
Yeah. Right, Calvin. It was actually I said to guess it right. So now moving to our next question. It's about that all of our programs are leading to university, or the programs which you specified earlier, or shall be explained, they are the only programs which are leading to university.
So no, there is many other programs that potentially there is ways for students to ultimately go to a university to complete a full degree. There is program that student can go through bridging program with other institutions to become a degree as well. So for example, we offer like a 2-year practical nurse degree as well, or a diploma, sorry. But at the same time, if that student decides that they want to complete their RN degree, there is pathway that they can potentially apply to a institution in Alberta or on Ontario that offer a bridging program where they can ultimately go into an RN program and complete their 4-year degree. Now, we don't have direct agreement with those institutions, but our diploma are accepted in a lot of those bridging program as well. But again, we highly recommend the student to really look into what is the ultimate goal that they want to do and the degree. And at the same time, like Karishma mentioned early in the very beginning of the presentation, Red Deer College is in the process of becoming Red Deer University. So, and because of that, potentially in the future, we will be providing more 4-year degree program as well.
Right. Thank you so much, Calvin. And I believe that we are able to answer all the questions from our audience. So before we wind up, would you like to say something?
So I just want to say thank you so much again for attending today's presentation. And we look forward to meeting as many agents as possible in the future. And one thing is, if you have ever have any chances to come or swing by through Alberta or coming through Red Deer, we'd definitely love to show you around and to show you what Red Deer is all about. And it's something that we always tell our students as well as agents is when you get here, you understand. Because definitely Red Deer is an institution that's very unique and very different from a lot of other institutions. And that's something that is for you to truly need to experience firsthand for you to understand what we're really about.
Shelby, would you like to add something?
Yeah, thank you so much again for everybody's time and attention. I appreciate all of your questions, and I know that the MSM team will follow up to connect with those that we didn't get a chance to cover today. So I want to just leave you with 2 last pieces of information so it's fresh in your mind. Our applications for the winter term are open until October 15th. And soon we will be opening up our applications for our fall of 21 term, which would be starting in September of 21. And that will be opening up October 1st. So 2 important dates to keep in mind. We're looking forward to seeing some agent applications from those of you who we are not already signed with. And thank you to our agents that are on the line that we already do have agreements with. And thanks again. We're looking forward to moving forward with all of you. And we know that the circumstances surrounding COVID have been challenging for everybody in the international sector. So again, just please everybody stay safe and stay happy, and let's all be positive. And we're going to come out on the better side of things eventually. And thanks again, everyone, for your time. And thanks to Calvin and Karishma and all of the other MSM team members who worked hard to make sure that the session could come together.
Thank you, Shelby and Calvin. And thank you all the participants who participated in this exclusive MSM and RDC Agent E-Summit. We really appreciate that you being here. We hope the session was very helpful and informative enough for everyone. Until the next one, please take care, stay safe and stay healthy. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Yep. Take care. Bye.